Hey folks, well, I'm glad to be back. Sorry I ran into a bit of an issue. Had a little bit of an accident, which I'm not too happy about, but it happened. And because of that accident, I've been out of action for a while. You can see a little remnant, but I'm back and wanted to go over some news for you for the first video. We've had a recent release of news from World of Tanks related to new Crew 2.0. And some of that news is pretty interesting. I think in terms of them pulling back from the last iteration and in terms of them rethinking it, I think there are definitive improvements, but I also think there's some pretty interesting game and balance issues. So let's listen to what's going on here.
Slots for main perks. 0 perks.
So there's the first thing. Each crew, I mean, for all those people that have been around as long as I have, you can have up 9-10 skills. This is not good because they are cutting your skills back to 6. And even though that they are going to let the zero crew skill items like Brothers in Arms, etc., detract from how many experience you need to get to the 6 skill crew, you still only can have a crew with 6 skills.
Also come under this limit. Meanwhile, the key benefit of 0 perks remains.
So basically, if you have a 0 perk skill, it'll decrease from, you know, the total experience that you need. So essentially, to get 6 skills, if you have a 0, you have a 0 skill perk, and you have 2 of them, you'll need a quarter of the time to get there. So I think that's fairly, I mean, in terms of what they're doing, I think it's probably pretty fair. But still, for those people that have 7, 8, 9, 10 skills on their crews, this is going to be something they're not going to appreciate.
Not raise the price of experience for subsequent ones. Directives will also not help get around the limits, since they can't give the effect of a 7th perk if only.
So I think that's pretty good as well. Directives not having any influence on that, I think, is a positive thing.
Only 6 have been trained. That said, they can always strengthen already trained ones. There is good news for crew members who fulfill several roles at once.
So this was one of the biggest items in the last iteration that was going to be a complete farce and completely unbalance the game. And that is to say that that crews that had 2 or 3 members in it were going to suffer under the previously proposed system. Whereas now you'll be able to get 6 skills, but then you'll be able to sub-train 3 other perks in another row. So your crews like the Manticore and other small crews like the ELC BIS will be able to compensate for that.
It is a bonus perk system. If a crew member has a secondary qualification, it will be trained alongside the major one. It has just 3 perks. To fully train a perk for an additional qualification, you need to train 2 perks for the major one. Bonus perks do not increase the total training time, no matter how many there are.
So basically, to get into, you got to do the first 2 of your major qualification before it opens up the bonus perk. So they kind of run in tandem, which is, I mean, how else could you do it? I don't see how else you could do it,
now,
but okay.
Each qualification has a choice of 3 group and 6 individual perks. You will have plenty to choose from because we've added 15 new ones. For instance, practicality for a command.
So not only have they combined some of the things here, they've added new ones, and some of those are game changers in my personal opinion. I'm not a fan.
Consumables. The old perks have been rebalanced. Some have become more useful. For example, sound detection. Firefighting is now an individual radio operator perk, meaning...
So firefighting is now no longer necessary for all crew members to be able to have it go. You're just going to have it on one crew member and you've got firefighting. So I think that has a pretty heavy impact on heavy tanks and super heavy tanks.
You don't need to train the whole crew in it. Some perks have remained unchanged.
Thank God.
Each crew member only has 9 perks to choose from and just 6 slots for their major qualification.
So overall, Again, for the super unicoms out there, this is going to piss them off. There's no question in my mind about it, just because they spent hours and hours and hours and hours, tens of thousands of games, and probably money to get those crews to where they are. And now this is a game leveling issue, which I think overall, it brings the unicoms and the new players closer together, because the max skills you're going to get at 6. So I think that's a game balance issue. It sucks for the players who've been around a long time. There is some compensation for it, which we'll talk about, but nonetheless, I think it levels out the game and doesn't make it so hard for new players who are just joining World of Tanks to try to understand that they're going to spend years to get a 7, 8, 9, 10 skill crew that they can accomplish. Getting to the higher tiers or fully maxing out their crews and finishing a tank, essentially, from that perspective, much quicker.
Which ones to train and which ones not to is up to you. All perks of duplicated qualifications now only work fully when each crew member has them. Let's say you have 2 loaders and you've trained a perk for one of them, it will only work at 50% of.
So this is already actually in effect for intuition. I think they should have used another example, because this is already in effect in the game. And I do think this is a good improvement over the last iteration and suggestion, as it will help balance out crews when you have smaller crews versus larger crews.
Efficiency. This is to balance vehicles with small and large crews.
Yeah.
After you've trained all 6 main perks, the aces will be able to train your cadets. Half of the base experience your 6 perk tankers earn will be counted toward post-progression. Get 100.
Okay, so if there's a lot of different tankers out there. Me, I like to play a variety of tanks. Unless I'm grinding, I just go right through. But for those that have favorite tanks, or they want to go back and SEAL Club, for those crews that you put together to do that, you're going to be able to continually earn crew books or utilize the experience you're earning in a game. It just doesn't go to waste once you're maxed out. And that'll be counting toward a crew book, which you can then take and use to. I think that's a great change. I think that's fair.
1,000 XP, and you will receive a universal training guide that will help you train new crews.
Yeah. Why not?
During the test and for some time after the update's release, resetting perks will be free. If you want to reset the perks of many crew members at once, you can use the new buttons in the barracks.
So I haven't done that on my pay-to-win account. I've done that on my free-to-play account, and it cost me a lot, and I lost a lot of crews, so I've had to rethink that. It's going to be so much work to do on my pay-to-win account. I'm not going to deal with it right now, but I do like the fact that they've given an unlimited time to take care of substituting out crew members, but they're only going to give a 30-day window once you log into the game to do this once you start. So
the first one resets the perks of all your crew members, and the second one automatically fills empty perk slots. To set crew members to your playstyle, it's best to reassign perks manually for the.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think most players want to do their stuff manually. I'm glad that it's cool they have an autofill, but I think most players want to do that on their own.
Crews of your favorite vehicles. 0 perks can now also be reset. You can choose several at once in the perk selection window. Head to the game portal, go to the news article about the updated system, and sign up for testing.
There you go.
Together, we can make sure that the updated system works
it's very interesting there what they're talking about, frankly speaking. So I think in the end we're going to see. Let's dive into this. Is the worldoftanks.com/en/news general, where you're supposed to be able to sign up to participate in this and get feedback. You actually have to sign up for this. I've tried it and the link doesn't work, unfortunately. Is it down here? Yeah, sign up for testing. I clicked it, and I guess it's just automatic. I don't have to put anything in. It's orange when I went here and I clicked it, so now it's grayed out. I guess I signed up, but we have no idea how they're picking people that can use this. So let's deep dive here on the perks a little bit, just because I think it's important to talk about this. And let me just check, make sure everything's going the way I want it to. Yep, it is. So for the commander, mentor has now been combined so that you've got 20% for all crew members, enables commander to replace knocked out members at 65%. Practicality is a consumable cooldown. That's new. I don't think that's a game changer, but it could be in close fights, all right? That could be. Coordination increases aiming speed by 12.5% for 15 seconds after you spot an enemy vehicle. Well, I think this could be really good for light tanks or for long-range snipers, right? And TDs. Or even for arty, right? If you once a vehicle spotted, if you spot it with arty, holy crap, 12.5%. That could be big. One that I'm just completely against, and you guys tell me what y'all think out there, but emergency. All right, let's talk about emergency right here. Increases the crew efficiency bonus by 7.5% for 15 seconds after taking enemy damage. And the effect does not stack up. So I guess what happens is when you get hit, your crew gets more efficient, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. If anybody's been in a tank or a Humvee and they've got hit by an IED, you know that after you get hit by something, you're completely knocked senseless. So the fact that you can take damage and get a 7.5% efficiency bonus just is so unreal. It's stupid. Wargaming, what the hell are you doing? That makes no logical sense. Makes no logical sense. So even though it doesn't stack, if you wait 15 seconds before you get hit again, you get another bonus. There are going to be Unicoms out there that are taking this to get the bonus. They'll take a hit and then come back with a 7.5% efficiency bonus and dice you. Utterly stupid. It's just stupid. I have no clue what they're thinking. That has nothing to do with reality. You don't get better when you get blown up. You get worse. Gunner. Designated target has been combined with Eagle Eye, which I don't think is a bad thing. This could be a really good thing for light tanks here. Concentration decreases dispersion by 3.5%, and it starts 3 seconds after the vehicle stops. So it's a bonus. When you pull into a bush or a hidey hole, you're going to get an extra dispersion bonus, which kind of is in line, right? You're stationary. Is this going to be a game breaker? I don't know, but I know a lot of people are going to take it. Quick aiming. Improve your aiming time by 2.5%. This is a straight up buff. I mean, who's not going to take this? I mean, Jizu Pizza. Hello, Dirt players, right? Hello, Arty players. This is a bonus for you, right? Armorer. I'm pretty pissed off about this one too. It reduces the range of potential damage and penetration. Penetration. They got a typo in here, to plus or minus 20%. So basically your top end pen comes down by 20% and your bottom end pen comes up by 20%, making your gun more effective overall. It also increases dispersion by 1.5 points. That is huge. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. That's overpowered. What are they doing? I don't understand this. Oh my God. Let's see what the driver has. Unbelievable. Off-road driving looks like it's been... Oh, wait a minute. Engineer. Increases the top forward speed and reverse speed of your vehicle by 1 kilometer. Reduces the penalty of damage engine. So there's a speed bonus in a game that's already moving too fast. But who wouldn't take that, right? Controlled impact. Increases your ramming damage and increases suspension. And your suspension by 50%. That's new. That's pretty powerful. Oh dear Lord. This basically takes your soft terrain minus and pluses it up to like a medium terrain. That's an interesting one right there. Again, it improves the game speed. I'm not sure how that helps us out at all as players, and balances the game. What's going on with a loader? Adrenaline rush. Gun loading time by 5% of vehicles under 25% of its hit points. Okay, that's the same. Intuition's the same. Perfect charge. Increases shell velocity by 10%. That could be good for RD. That could be good for derp guns. That could be a very interesting one to watch out for. Close combat decreases gun loading time by 2.5% at distances of 50 meters or less. So let me ask you a question. If you're close to another tank and you're a tanker and you're a loader, Give me feedback on this, any tankers out there. Do you load your gun any faster just because you're close to an enemy tank? I don't think so. Is it because you're hyped up and your adrenaline's rushing? I mean, that's what adrenaline rush is for. It's kind of like a duplicate to me. Ammo tuning increases the potential minimum and maximum damage and penetration by 2%. This is a straight up 1% buff. What the hell is going on? They're just buffing. Everyone's going to take this. Everyone's going to be buffed by 1%. So I think it's useless. If everyone gets the bonus by taking this perk, then it's not a bonus. It's not something we want. It's just throwing even more stuff into the game that we don't need. That mucks up the difference between guns and pens and what you're doing, and how you're loading out your tank. I don't agree with this ammo tuning at all. Radio operator. The biggest one here is that firefighting is now only needed by one crew member. So that's interesting. Side by side is new. Increases the crew efficiency bonus by 2.5% at distances of 50 meters less from an allied vehicle. So this one I actually do agree with, because you're close to your allies, you're close to your friends, and you become more efficient when you feel like you have support, right? Not after you get hit by a shell and your tank is damaged, for God's sake. But when you're close to your brothers in arms, and you're fighting together, you get an efficiency bonus. I get that. Jamming decreases the time your vehicle remains spotted by the enemy by 1 second. That's going to be good for light tanks, right? And for arty or back of the map TDs, combined with radio signal interception and other perks, I think this could be a very good new addition. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. So anyway, this is what I have on the crew perks and the new system. I don't know what you guys think about it, but I'd love to hear from you on it, just to see what your opinion is in general, because I think overall this is going to change the game, but not quite as significantly and in a negative way as we thought so before. So I think overall these are vast improvements over what they had proposed, and I do believe that they won't break the game. So that's the most important thing, right? Not breaking our game that we love to play. So anyway, folks, take care. Stay tuned. There will be more updates coming on game changes, and of course, since our community poll said with one viewer that we need to do German lights, we're going to start with the Lukes, and that'll be coming up in an episode tonight. So thank you guys so much, and peace out.